So today we're going to talk about Ben Roethlisberger, and is it possible that the Pittsburgh Steelers move off of him this offseason? It seems possible. I'll give my thoughts about it, but the main question is, and the first thing that comes to mind is, who do you replace him with? That's like the one thing about sports or sports fans that I am not a fan of. Like, I always hear people say, fire that guy, cut that guy, move on from that guy. And those same people will not offer a replacement. So if you move on from Ben Roethlisberger, who is his replacement? So there are guys out there for trade. Sam Darnold's one of them. I guess, maybe. Do you want to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo? Is that much of an improvement? I don't know. Do you want to sign Jameis Winston? Do you want to sign Andy Dalton? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I do like Jameis Winston. I feel like that'd be a nice backup for Ben Roethlisberger. And there have been some like USC comparisons for Sam Darnold with Ben Roethlisberger, so I get that. He's still very young. He's 23, I think. So I get that part of it, but do you make the Steelers much better next year if you sign Winston, Dalton, trade for Garoppolo? It doesn't make them much better. I know Roethlisberger wasn't great last year, but he also wasn't terrible. He started to fall off towards the end of the year, and being 39 years old, whatever he is, it's definitely a concern. But at the same time, can you really do that much better? Like, it's not like Deshaun Watson's walking through those doors in Pittsburgh. It's just not going to happen. So look, I know that Cam Hayward took a pay cut, not a pay cut, but they restructured his contract to open up more cap space. Don't know why exactly they did that. I feel like the Steelers are not in the worst cap situation right now. They're not the Saints or the Eagles, but at the same time, I guess they might have done that for a reason. But Ben Roethlisberger is slated to make $41 million next year, which is the highest cap hit for any player in the NFL next season, in front of guys like Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers, Carson Wentz, go down the list, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson. Like, it's crazy. So I don't really know what they're going to do with this situation, but the GM Kevin Colbert said about Roethlisberger, as we sit here today, Ben is a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He reiterated to us that he wants to continue to play. We told him that we have to look at his current situation. So that was from February 17th, 6 days ago. Today it came out that Roethlisberger met with the Steelers, I guess the ownership or something, I don't even know who it was, but he met with the Steelers and said that, it went well. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what the takeaway is. It seems like Ben wants to play. I don't think he wants to retire, because Ben had a quote just about a month ago that he would basically play for nothing in 2021. It's not about the money. He just wants to win another championship, which I get. So if they can hopefully get a pay cut for Roethlisberger, because there's no way in their right minds will they pay Roethlisberger this $41 million. It just doesn't make any sense. He's not playing like a $41 million type player. But I also don't think it makes sense to just flat out cut him, because who's going to replace him? It goes back to that. But options on the current roster: Mason Rudolph, not that good. Dwayne Haskins, never a fan of his. And Joshua Dobbs, who I thought was in Jacksonville. He might have came back. But no more Devlin Hodges, which is fine. But I just don't know how it gets much better if you release Roethlisberger. Like, I don't know who the replacement is. So once again, you can say cut him, trade him, not trade him, but just cut him, go retire. It's just like you're not going to replace him with anyone better. So you kind of have to hope that Ben just somehow looks better than he did the final 5-6 games of last year, and hopefully looks a bit more rejuvenated in a way. However, I do think the Steelers need some type of contingency plan for Roethlisberger in case he just is completely off the rails in 2021. Like, he might start off the first month playing well, then he might get a minor injury, and due to his age, he might just deteriorate out there on the field and not look good whatsoever. And all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, we need a quarterback. So you can't be in that situation. I think the Steelers need to seriously address their quarterback number 2 this year. So they have Haskins. I don't trust that guy to be my starting quarterback. There's guys out there that could be backups, like Mitch Trubisky could be a backup. Jameis Winston, I think, is a great option because similar body type to Roethlisberger, good arm, I think a really good arm, but does he make mistakes? Yeah, but Ben Roethlisberger did make some mistakes last year, although the Steelers did a lot of underneath stuff last year, but Roethlisberger did have some mistakes. But I feel like Jameis Winston and his upside, it gives you a higher ceiling as a football team. I know last time he played, it was a ton of interceptions, a ton of turnovers, but it's not really all his fault. That's what Bruce Arians' offense is. Like, I feel like Tom Brady, for Tom Brady standards, had a lot more interceptions than he usually does, but Bruce Arians runs this vertical offense where they're just airing the ball out 50 times per game. Of course, Jameis Winston was going to run into some turnover issues, and that's just what happened. So I think Jameis Winston would be a nice fit for Pittsburgh. Do I see it happening? Not really, but it could. You want Andy Dalton back there, that's fine. I think Jacoby Brissett would make a lot of sense. That's another guy, another number 7 actually, but a guy that would make a lot of sense for Pittsburgh. I think has a similar playing style to current day Roethlisberger. Of course, Jacoby's a lot more athletic, but just pocket passing wise, similar quarterbacks. Not the best deep ball throwers at this point in their careers, but I do think they're pretty accurate underneath, and I do like that aspect of it. I think he's like not really a scrambler. He's a pretty good pocket passer, always seems cool and collected. So I think Jacoby Brissett would be a nice fit for the Steelers if they can get him on a nice contract. And Tyrod Taylor, Cam Newton, I'm not really feeling that for Pittsburgh, honestly. So I think the Steelers should go into 2021 with Ben as their starting quarterback. If they traded for Sam Darnold, then fine. But, I don't really know if that would make much sense either. I guess Darnold is, close to Roethlisberger ability-wise in 2021 because one guy's 39, one's 23. But I just feel like I don't know if that helps the Steelers a lot because I don't envision Sam Darnold getting traded to Pittsburgh in kind of like this win now window they have because they do have a really good roster. I don't see that happening and seeing Sam Darnold lead this 12-4 or 11-5 Steelers team to the playoffs and for their hopefully the Super Bowl. So I don't see that being the case. I just think it has to be Ben Roethlisberger plus competent backup in year 2, and I think more than competent. You have to get like a top 5 backup quarterback in the National Football League if you're the Steelers. So it's not an easy task, but I guess luckily for them, this is an offseason where this is a good quarterback class. There's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, and some quarterbacks will get released and left behind, and the Steelers can pick up 1 or 2 of those guys and be like, hey, if Ben Roethlisberger sucks or goes down with injury, you can come in and at least, make this offense average enough because the Steelers have a good enough defense where their offense does not need to be top 10 in the NFL. You can be the Steelers quarterback and lead the 25th ranked offense, 20th, 18th, 21st ranked offense and be like, fine. You're not going to you need to get better in the playoffs, but just to survive in the regular season and make the playoffs, I feel like you can survive as the 20th ranked offense in football if you're the Steelers because they still have a lot of great young talent on that defense. And speaking of that, you have to clear some cap space because I think TJ Watt's due for an extension soon. I think Minkah Fitzpatrick's due for an extension soon. One day Devin Bush will be in 2 years or so. But, at some point they have to actually take into consideration what's going to happen with this cap space. We need to open up more for these young guys. And the Steelers do have some very young, talented players. And even some, Juju Smith-Schuster's a guy this offseason that's a free agent. And I think Deontay Johnson might be up soon. So, there are some other guys out there that they have to extend. But I do think going into 2021, the most realistic chance to have of winning and just doing it right is hoping Ben Roethlisberger looks rejuvenated and looks better and add a competent backup quarterback. And the thing I would want for the Steelers if I was them, I would go Jameis Winston or Jacoby Brissett. I don't know which one would cost more or cost less, but those would be my targets. I think Brissett has a more similar skill set to Roethlisberger if that's what they want to do over there, more intermediate passes and all that. I think Jacoby Brissett would make more sense. So we'll find out what they do. Leave in the comments what you think the Steelers should do with the Roethlisberger situation. Do you think he stays in Pittsburgh or do you think someone else is starting for them in week 1 of next year? Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you next time.